I wanted to believe, but the tools have been taken away. The X-Files have been shut down. They closed our eyes. Our voices have been silenced. Our ears now deaf to the realms of extreme possibilities.
Reinstatement of the X-Files must be undeniable.
Welcome everybody to the Dark Talk Files, episode 28, Sleepless. I am your host Dan, and I'm here with my FBI bro, Paul. Paul, how's it going?
Dan, it's going well, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, great. I'm not very sleepless. I'm getting a lot of sleep, so I'm not sleepless.
I, on the other hand, have not been getting a lot of sleep at all, so I am very sleepless. Two sides of the same coin, me and you. I'm telling you.
We are, aren't we? We are. I mean, I usually operate on about 4 or 5 hours sleep, but I've been getting a good 8 hours recently. It's been quite nice.
Nice. What's been your method? Or have you been doing anything different? Or
No, I actually just keep finding myself. I work night shifts, so I'm up all night, sleep, like I say, 4 or 5 hours in a day, get up, go back to work. But if I'm not working, I'm usually awake till about 2, 3 in the morning reading. But I find myself really tired around midnight and just conking out. So yeah,
that's great. That's really good. I've decided now that midnight's my kind of cut-off point where I'm going to start trying to sleep. I started doing it about 6 months ago, and I've got to be honest. I have had good night's sleeps by trying to settle down at midnight, because I could go on for hours and hours. Like one night it was 4 in the morning, and I had to be up at 6 for work, but it was 4, and I was making music, and I was just like, what am I doing? But yeah, recently I have been not sleeping well at all. I've been having weird dreams and just like very struggling to get REM sleep, proper needed sleep, which will lead into this episode a little bit,
Yeah, I mean that's what this episode is about. Yeah, sleepless and REM sleep. Big episode. This we get the debut of 2 major characters that will be with us for most of the run of the series. We'll get to that. We'll get to those 2 when we get to them. But as well as a guest appearance from the Candyman himself, Tony fucking Todd. Ah, yes.
I know. How cool is this?
I know.
God, he's fucking awesome. This guy. He's so good.
He is, isn't he? God, rest in peace, dude.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to watch Final Destination 2 again.
Fucking amazing.
I'm joking. Obviously, I want to watch Candyman.
I like Final Destination 2.
Nah, I'm not really a fan of Final Destination 2. I don't know why.
Really?
3's better than 2. 1's the best.
Is 3 at the amusement park?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. 1 is the best, yeah. 2 I think is okay, because it's like a direct sequel to 1. And didn't really like 3. And I tried watching 4, which is at the race car, the rally, the NASCAR place. And fuck, that was bad.
Yeah, that's the worst. The one that came after that was actually had a good twist ending, if I remember correctly. And the newest one's pretty shady.
The new one is Bloodlines, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've not seen that yet. I'm waiting to binge them all with my stepson.
Oh, fair dues.
I'll tell you what we did watch, actually, as of this recording. We watched Quiet Place last night for the first time.
Really? Your first time?
First time I had seen it, yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty fucking good, actually. I thought it was really good. I wasn't too keen on the monsters. They just looked like the Cloverfield monster, I thought they just looked a bit too generic. But like the whole premise and the way the film was, it was fucking, really tense, really good, yeah.
Yeah, using sound as like a weapon is really, really good idea. I agree, though. I don't really like the alien type thing.
Yeah, they're a bit too generic, I thought. But I did like the way that the aliens were put over as being like lethal. Like if you encounter one of these, there's no chance, there's no chance of survival, which was really great writing, really great directing, yeah.
I think that's super important with enemies in like gameplay and stuff. So like I'm going to talk about The Last of Us again, because I do love it. So like one zombie in that game can fuck you up and kill you, because like a couple of their hits take up most of your life. Whereas I'll cut to like TV, so if you're watching like The Walking Dead, the characters can just take on hundreds of zombies, and they're not going to die. But making the enemies OP, even if they're just like one of them at a time. Yeah. Like one soldier in The Last of Us that you're fighting can kill you very easily. So Sorry, I just ran off a bit then.
No, it's right. I was thinking the same thing. So when I first played the Resident Evil 2 remake, I felt the same with the zombies. If you encounter like 4 zombies, like, or even less than that, it's really hard, difficult game to play.
It's fucking horrible, that game, and I'm going to replay it very soon, I think. You just reminded me that I didn't ever get that far on it, so I think that's my next game.
But it really like amped up the survival horror aspect of it, because when you play when you play Resident Evil 4, like that's just a fun game for like slaughtering villages. There's no fear in that game, but the Resident Evil 2 remake really brought that back. I think like it was such a hard game.
Fucking absolutely. I didn't get very far because it was that hard. I'm not a very good gamer. I love games, but I'm not very good. But yeah, it was great.
So let's get on with the X-Files. So we cold open in New York City to a dude. This is Dr. Saul Grissom, and he is having a nice little Mulder-like snooze on his couch. When he hears a noise and he opens his apartment door and he discovers this blazing inferno, which, rightly scares the shit out of him. He calls the fire department, and when they arrive, the fire crew discover that there is no fire, just Grissom dead in his living room, slumped against the wall. Apparently, we'll get to what happened to him a bit later when Scully performs an autopsy. So yeah, love the way this looked. The fire was pretty good.
I thought it was a return of the fucking Irish pyromaniac from Fire.
I wish.
I was like, oh fuck, he's back, and he's brought more fire with him. Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, it was a good, intriguing cold opening. It's like, I was like this. What's happening here?
So we open the episode properly. We're at Mulder's apartment, and did you notice the new Mulder outfit?
I did notice one. I don't know if it was in this episode. Was he wearing like his running outfit?
No, that would have been the last. That would have been the previous episode. No, in this one he was wearing a red t-shirt and light blue Wranglers. So
yes, I did notice that actually. Yeah.
He's dressed like Sally Webster from Corrie in the 90s.
Sally fucking Webster.
Yeah.
I thought he was just like Arnie from Last Action Hero.
He is, yeah. He's like in his casuals.
Yeah. Good. It's good look. I like the color. I like that color t-shirt with jeans and that.
Yeah,
it's good. I've got a t-shirt that color. I might do that today and just walk around town.
That would be a very obscure Mulder cosplay. Just Mulder from the season 2, episode 4. Open it. Go to Comic-Con dressed like that.
It's time to acknowledge Mulder's fluffy ass hair in this season as well so far. So there wasn't a good time to bring it up in the last episode, but he needs some fucking product. He needs some VO5 hair putty on that shit because he looks like a fucking hedgehog. It's like so floofy. It's unreal, and I just couldn't stop looking at it the whole time.
Shampoo, no conditioner, please.
Hold the conditioner.
Shampoo, hold the conditioner. So Mulder has received his daily newspaper, and in the newspaper there is an article about the death of Dr. Grissom and how this has been circled. And what's more, there is a tape wrapped up in the newspaper, which is a copy of the 911 call Grissom made to the fire brigade, and Mulder notes that there was no evidence of a fire whatsoever, so why would Grissom be calling 911 for fire?
Mm-hmm.
So Mulder takes this to Skinner, and Skinner is, of course, reluctant to let him investigate a case, which is so obviously an X-File. He's like, no, I don't see anything wrong here, Agent Mulder. Just get back in the corner where you belong. Go back to transcribing the Sopranos episodes for me, please.
He's like, you have 24 hours worth of audio to transcribe. You need to get on that shit. That's going to take you about a week.
Fucking hell, yeah. So he's still not in Skinner's good books.
No.
So, Mulder is assigned a new partner. This is Alex Krycek, who is dressed like he belongs in an episode of Twin Peaks. He looks like such a dork in that suit. Everyone else's suit is like a pure 90s style, but he just looks like he's come from the 50s, the way he's dressed, the way his hair is cut.
Yeah, he's got that slick, oily hairstyle and the black suit, which doesn't quite fit him properly, but as he does say, I am green, well, is he? I am green. He's new and he is just getting into the rhythm of things, and Mulder's not a fan at all, is he? But
nobody's a fan of Krycek, as we'll see in a couple of later episodes. He is just treated like shit on a shoe. Nobody acknowledges him.
Well, I've got to say though, the name Krycek is such a fucking cool name.
It is really fucking cool.
It would be a good name for like a synthwave DJ, Krycek.
It would actually, yeah. It would.
I'm going to make some synthwave music later on
under that name,
under that moniker.
So Mulder is understandably reluctant to work with Krycek because because he trusts no one except for Scully. And he pulls a fast one when he sends Krycek to pick up a car from the carpool and then ditches him by getting an Uber to the crime scene.
Getting an Uber.
Technically, this is Krycek's case because he opened the file before Mulder. So he's like, Agent Mulder, you have to work with me. Mulder's like, yeah, I definitely will. Like, you go and get the car. I'll see you outside.
Yeah, I definitely will. Like, I promise you, I swear.
Yeah. When Krycek meets up with Mulder later, Mulder is just so dismissive. He's like, yeah, whatever, dork. And he's like, you don't know the first thing about me. And he's like, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's like, that's why I don't trust you, pal.
Yeah, but Krycek is coming on a bit too strong here. He's like, everyone used to call you spooky, but I believe in your work. It's like, fuck off, man. There's something not right about you. You're weird. You're like an in-person. Do you know what? You're weird.
Yeah. But that kind of gives Mulder okay. I'm going to open my walls come down a little bit. Let's see what happens with you. Because he's like already, all you have to do with Mulder is show that enthusiasm a little bit. And he's like, gets him going, you know.
Is he, or is he trying to like trap Krycek? You know, is he going to say, like, I'll let my guard down a bit and see where he goes with this? I think Mulder's, his alarms are going, his radar's on, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But still, though, the easy way to get into Mulder's pants is just to show that you believe a little bit, you know.
That's true.
Open to things.
So Mulder finds out what kind of research Dr. Grissom was doing, and Grissom was a sleep and insomnia expert, and he was trying to make it so that the US soldiers in Vietnam wouldn't have to sleep, so they would become twice as deadly, which is fucking very grim. Fucking hell. Imagine that. A soldier that doesn't sleep and just goes 24 hours.
Be a little bit like Terminator, which is...
Yeah. So meanwhile, Scully is back at a teaching job at FBI HQ at Quantico, and she's giving a lecture to her class, and why is she wearing a shower cap? Like, I know she's wearing PPE because she's handled their bodies, but it just looks really funny, and like, she's never used one of these shower caps before. This must have been a particularly squirty body. So Mulder calls her and organises sending Dr. Grissom's body to her for an autopsy, and Scully discovers that Grissom died under extremely strange circumstances. His body believed it was burning to death, and he has all the symptoms of dying in a fire, but there was no fire, so fucking creepy as shit, that.
Yeah, big time.
This is where Scully meets Krycek as well.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I think she's a bit jealous.
She doesn't like him either. She is, yeah, but he like goes to shake her hand and she just no-sells it and walks past him.
She's like, yeah, whatever, dork.
He's just like so shown. He's just like, God damn it.
He's like if you had a Ken doll, you know, like a Barbie Ken. He's just so perfect, like the teeth and everything. Like, hi, how you doing? Yeah, no wonder he's like so unsettling. I find it funny watching Krycek as well. So he's trying his hardest to interject himself into any conversation Mulder and Scully are having. They're like, you know, because they've got a rapport, they know how to do it. And he's like, hey guys, what you talking about? And they just like, just no sell him. They just ignore him. It's just like... So we meet the episode's quote-unquote villain here, Augustus Cole, aka Preacher, played by Tony Todd, as we mentioned. So Cole goes to visit his old Vietnam army buddy Henry, who is living in this shitty apartment in a crap part of town, and these two guys look like bags of shit. They look absolutely fucked, because they mention fleetingly that they have been trapped in hell for 24 years, but they don't exactly explain what that means just yet. But do you want to tell the listeners what these two have been suffering from?
So these two have been suffering from what is essentially insomnia, but this isn't insomnia as in, so people with insomnia do sleep. Your body can't survive without any sleep, you know? So this isn't real insomnia. This is something else. This is 24 years of not a wink of sleep. Not a second of sleep. What's the longest time you've gone without sleeping, Dan?
I've definitely done long. I very often do 24 hours. So I often wake up at 8, do the school run, don't sleep all day, go in for my night shift, finish work at 8, do the school run again, and then go to sleep. So I can do 24 hours. I would say I have gone not quite 2 days, but I would say 24 hours plus 12. So yeah, maybe about 36 hours.
And my next question is, how do you feel at the end of that 36 hours?
I feel fucking just insane. Like my mind is just, it affects your mind so much. Not just, it's not physical, it's mental. Like what that does to your brain.
Well, I used to when I worked nights in an old job, I'm talking ages ago now, I used to get up on the Thursday at about 4 o'clock, start work at 10 at night, finish at 7, half 7 in the morning. And then because I was off for the weekend, I would stay up all day. So I'd get to that 24-hour mark at about 4 o'clock-ish, depending on what time I got up the day before. And then I would meet you and a bunch of our other friends, and we'd go and play poker. And then we would carry on the night drinking and stuff. And then I would go home, and then I would go and I'd play poker online until about 7 the next morning. So yeah, I was looking at around 30-ish hours or whatever. But do you remember, like, we were at our friends and we were watching South Park, I think?
Yes, I know you.
And I was hallucinating that their eyes were like clubs and spades and stuff because we'd been playing poker for so long. But I was doing that regularly. I was doing that weekly for about 8 years. And at the end of each one, I felt like I was going to die. I legitimately was going to die. My eyes were so bloodshot and red, and I would get blemishes all over my face. And this is like 30 hours. So imagine what 24 years would do to a person. Realistically, their body wouldn't even survive that at all.
No.
But for the sake of the X-Files, just imagine how insane you'd be after this time. It's terrifying.
It's like a living hell, like they say. And also, while it wasn't even as if they were living normal lives without this sleep, they were Vietnam death squad. Like, this has got to be like the worst job in the world, like that's ever existed. You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Do you reckon it's worse than trying to clean a shit filter on a Russian ship, which also harbours a mutant flatworm?
Honestly, yeah, I would take unblocking the shit tub than being awake for 24 years. Yeah. So we've got a new champion. Worst fate of anybody in the X-Files. It's these two guys.
Yeah, and another one later on.
So because they're Vietnam vets, they've been through some shit together. They've seen some things. They've done some things. And Preacher is here to enact some justice. And Henry starts seeing visions of all the Vietnamese civilians he's murdered, and they execute him by firing squad. So these guys were summoned by Preacher, who has the ability to, like, not summon ghosts, but make the brain believe things are happening to it, and the body reacts physically as if it's happening, which is such a fucking cool superpower. Like, that would be amazing.
It is. Also a little bit like the Scarecrow one that we spoke about last time, but without, like, having to do anything other than use his own mind to do it. This character, Preacher, would be an amazing supervillain in DC or Marvel, or any other comic.
What would you do with this superpower? What would you do? Use it for good, obviously, but what would you do? Would you make everyone's life better?
Yeah, I would. I would help people with depression. I would help the elderly who are, close to death become peaceful and
that's cool.
Stuff like that. Do you know what I would do as well? Biggest thing for me, I would connect with people with autism because I work in that region. Yeah, people who can't communicate and that. But then, as well as that, I would also go to Asda and convince the people that work there that I've already paid for my shit. Yeah.
I would just use it on myself to convince myself I was on a yacht in the Caribbean with Gillian Anderson. So.
With Mrs. McRoberts from episode 3.
But you could use, like, imagine if you could, like, use it on a group of people at the same time. You could run like like those zombie survival experience days. You could do one of them, but use it all using your mind powers to scare the shit out of everything. That'd be so cool. Or any sort of adventure. You could have, like, Indiana Jones stuff and all kinds of mad stuff.
Yeah. That'd be really cool. That never crossed my mind.
So Preacher is now taking out everybody he believes responsible for the atrocities they committed in Vietnam. So he's this sort of avenging angel character.
Viet fucking Nam!
He fucking rules. Tony Todd is just so good in this role. He's so intense. He's just so perfectly cast in this.
That man has such aura. Like, his voice, his appearance, he's fucking tall, he's muscular, he's just got something about him, He's just like fucking, he was born to act,
Yeah,
so
definitely. So Mulder and Krycek track down Cole, who is supposed to be in prison, but when they go to Cole's cell, they see that he is not there, and we discover that Cole has been discharged by mistake. And the doctor in charge is like, nah, I would never discharge him. And the receptionist is like, yeah, you fucking did. I was there and I saw you do it, you fucking liar. So I think Cole has just literally just like convinced someone to just let him out. So
he's used his power on the doctor. It's like, used his power to get him to let him out.
Do you think it's like a Jedi mind trick? It only works on the weak-minded? Because it works on someone like later on we'll see that it works on Krycek and it works on all these other dudes. Does it work on? Oh no, it works on Mulder later on, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does work on Mulder. Yeah. I think that this power works on anybody, to be honest.
So Mulder receives a phone call from his new mysterious source that we saw in episode 2, and the guy that called him up is X, played by Stephen fucking Williams. Ah, God, talk about actors I love. I fucking love this dude too. He's amazing. I love Stephen Williams.
Stevie Williams.
Soon to appear on the main feed in Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell as Crichton Duke, the bounty hunter.
Is he in that film? Is he?
He is, yeah.
I can't remember the film, to be honest.
Also he turns up in one of the series of Yellowstone as well.
Does he?
Yeah, as a ranch worker whose name is Cowboy.
Nice.
Yeah, he's fucking great.
I just opened up Google, he's in It as well.
Supernatural, I know him from as well.
Well, he's great.
So X was a subordinate to Deep Throat, and he is continuing to help Mulder out of loyalty to his deceased boss. However, X is more paranoid and careful than Deep Throat ever was. X is not a nice man. He's pretty hostile to Mulder, really. Like, every time he meets him, he's like, I am not willing to give my life for this cause like my predecessor was, you know?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So his first meeting with Mulder is at this spooky stadium construction site, which I think works pretty well. It's really atmospheric. You know, you've got the whole, like, conspiracy vibe. Really well set. So X hands Mulder a file with data from the Sleep Eradication Project, which explains that the Marines were trying to make soldiers that didn't need sleep, and Cole and the other guys haven't slept for 24 years, which we've talked about. And Mulder wants more information from X, but he's like, nah, peace out, see ya. It's like, you're not getting anything else out of me, mate.
Well, as he said, I know you just mentioned it, but he's like, he had to watch his friend die because he gave too much, and he was a bit too trustworthy with Mulder and open with Mulder, and which led to his death, so he's just gonna hang back a little bit.
Yeah, so X is like a sort of like middle-level dude in the conspiracy. Like, he was definitely subordinate to Deep Throat, but he's still like higher than most of the other dudes in it, as we will see for the rest of the series. He's an informant for Mulder, but he's not quite a good guy because he is the bad guy in a couple of episodes.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we, Dan?
We will. So they get a call from local PD, and we find out that Cole, Preacher, has robbed a pharmacy, but he's taken only pills. He left the till. He didn't rob any money, which kind of shows that he's a good guy. What pills has he taken? Is he taking pills to like keep him serotonin? Oh, like the brain chemical.
So I was going to say Gillian Anderson. Scully explains that serotonin is produced in your body while you sleep. Therefore, their bodies are lacking serotonin, which is like the happy chemical. Yeah. And he needs to steal these so he can like try and OD on them so that he actually gets a little bit of peace and a little bit of joy out of his life.
Yeah. I didn't realize you could get serotonin in pill form, to be honest.
I didn't either, actually. Let me look that up real quick. I mean, surely you can. Yes, there are many serotonin pills. Oh, so like antidepressants. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fluoxetine. Yeah. We should probably cut that bit out because that makes it sound so dumb.
So they get up into the apartment room where Cole is hiding out, but they see that he's managed to escape and he's used his powers to make two cops shoot each other. So, yeah. So this is the point where Mulder figures out Cole's abilities, that he's been able to project his consciousness into other people and send them telepathic images because he hasn't slept. He's been able to somehow bridge the gap between the conscious and the unconscious mind, which I thought sounded really cool when Mulder explained it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good, like, jargony explanation for something that isn't real. Like,
yeah,
I believed it, yeah.
So we get a Scully and Mulder phone call, which is a really cute moment between the two, and they miss working with each other. And she's like, how are things with your new partner? Mulder's like, yeah, he dresses like a dork, and they have like he's like, but he's more open to, and she's like, more open to things than I was, and he's like, no, more open to the possibility of extreme phenomena. I wasn't talking about that. She's jealous.
She's mega jealous, yeah. She's missing out so much though, because she's just doing autopsies and like he's off out doing his thing. And I felt a bit of emotion from this part because I was like, oh my god, just bring them back together, please. Come on.
Oh, you gotta wait a while.
I'm getting the blue balls from this. Like,
so Mulder and Krycek go to meet Matola, who is the final survivor from the Vietnam unit. He is also very paranoid, and he thinks that he's been targeted for assassination, and he is relieved when he finds out that Mulder and Krycek are only there to ask him questions. So Matola fills him in on the sleep experiment and how awesome it was at first, but how terrible it actually is the longer that it's gone on. Mottola tells him all about their war crimes and how his unit went fucking mental, killing civilians, and like the most horrific thing they did was like shoot up a school, and I was just like, fuck, oh god.
Yeah. If you think about it, the Vietnamese people were all just civilians, and they sort of learn how to defend themselves. So it's horrible. Yeah. Fucking horrible.
Have you ever seen the TV show Quarry? I don't think you have, actually, starring Logan Marshall Green.
No, I've not.
He plays a Vietnam vet that comes home and becomes a hitman, basically. It's really good, really dark. Like, only made one season of it before it got cancelled, which is a shame because it was sick. But the final episode of that show was a flashback to what happened in Vietnam, because he's left and come home under a cloud, and it just shows this. It's like a half-hour scene of what goes on in this Vietnamese village, and it is just horrifying. It's oh god, so powerful. Yeah, definitely check that out if you can find it. Quarry.
Well, you just spoiled the ending, so.
So Mottola tells him that there was another doctor involved in this experiment, and this is the doctor that actually performed the surgeries / lobotomies, and he will certainly be someone that Preacher is going to target. So this is Dr. Girardi, who is travelling to Grissom's funeral via a train. Mulder and Krycek arrive at the station, and we see that Cole is already there. I like this because they like sort of run past, then the camera slowly pans over to Cole, and he's like waiting on a payphone. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I miss using a payphone as like a disguise. Yeah, you don't see it these days because payphones don't exist anymore. But you used to see it quite a lot in things, don't you? Like someone's on a payphone. That happened in real life. Do you remember that guy who killed his daughter's or son's murderer? And It was all on live TV. Like the murderer was being led through by the cops, and he just appeared from a payphone like that with a gun shot him.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
can't remember the name off the top of my head, but like that's a perfect example of that actually happening in real life. You know, people just using a payphone to disguise themselves. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So I do love, like, you know, in like the spy films from the 70s and the 80s, like, you know, like Cold War films, you always got people on payphones, like, you know, leaving messages. Damn right. So Girardi gets off the train and is gunned down from behind by Cole, who also manages to fire a shot and put one in Mulder as well. But this is a fake out because Mulder wakes up and Krycek says Girardi never showed up, and Mulder started shouting and waving his arms before collapsing, like, ah!
Waving his gun around.
So Preacher got one over on Mulder.
He did. I thought we were going to get an addition to Bullet Club here as well, but
no, still no bullets fired from Mulder or Scully this season.
No.
So Preacher got one over on Mulder, which not only did he like give him the slip, but he also embarrassed him, like made him look like a dickhead
in front of all of those people and his new partner. It's just like
So Mulder explains to Krycek what Preacher is doing, and Krycek, he is so fucking eager to please. He's like, tell me, Mulder, I want to believe. And I was like, fuck off, you poser. Fucking first date, you're like this. Go away. So Cole has Dr. Girardi tied up, and he's going to execute him by Phantom Firing Squad. Well, Phantom Stabbing Squad. Now, if I was Mulder, I would just let this fucker die. This dude was responsible for thousands of deaths in Vietnam. I say, let the Preacher preach.
Yeah, fuck it. And also, that sounds like a UK drill rap group, you know, Phantom Stabbing Squad.
Mulder and Krycek find Girardi still alive, and Krycek tries to save him while Mulder goes after the Preacher. And Cole asks Mulder to shoot him, but Mulder just wants to talk to him and get the full story. And, you know, this is what Mulder does. He's like, you have to come and testify against the military and maybe get some kind of justice for this, you know, I mean. But so, Tony Todd gives a hell of a fucking performance at this point, you know, fucking just so emotional. He just tells Mulder about his pain and his life and what they've done and all this.
Yeah.
Now, Preacher is holding a Bible. So when Krycek turns up with his gun aimed at Cole knows that his work is complete and he can finally get some sleep. So he uses this opportunity to commit suicide by cop. So Cole uses his powers to trick Krycek into shooting him. So he holds up a Bible to Mulder, and Mulder can see that it's a Bible, but he's using his powers on Krycek to convince Krycek that he's holding a gun on Mulder. So Krycek shoots and kills Cole.
He does.
Very powerful ending for him, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it could have ended better, to be honest. honest.
He had to die, but he wasn't the bad guy per se. You know, he was killing bad guys.
He was, yeah. I never actually thought of it that way. I mean, he was killing his friends who have also suffered the way he did, but he's killing them because of the things that they did, and he did as well. So he has
to go.
He's after he's taken out the people who needed to go, he has to go as well because he was one of them. So yeah, it's quite melancholic, quite sad, but also needed. Yeah, he had to Great ending.
Yeah, as he's lying there dying, Cole says goodnight to Mulder, and he gets the first sleep he's had in 24 years, which has got to feel fucking amazing. I bet he feels just so happy. He's like, thank God I'm out of this living hell.
Yeah, that feeling of just drifting off he must have got. You know, that lovely feeling when it comes.
Krycek is quite shocked at everything that's happened. So I thought they were going to leave it ambiguous to whether what he was holding in his hand, the Bible or the gun. But it pans over and you see the Bible on the floor, and then Krycek's like, oh shit, what have I done? And Mulder reassures him that he did the right thing in shooting Cole, because Mulder knows what Cole can do.
The Bible or the gun sounds like a good band name for a bluesy country southern rock band. And I'll shut up about band names now. But like he says to Mulder, he's like, I saw him have a gun, and Mulder's like, I know. And it's like Mulder's like, yes, this is what he has done to me, and this is what he has done to everybody, so don't worry, it's okay. So I assumed that Mulder is going to cover that up a little bit, because how can they explain that he didn't have a gun? Because that would be Krycek out of the job there. Yeah. He's just shot an unarmed man who essentially there is no proof that he's done anything, because what are they going to do in court? Oh, he's killed them with his mind. You know what I mean? He essentially, there's no proof that he's done anything wrong. So I assume that they would have to cover that up and say that he did have a gun and he was going to shoot Mulder.
I think so.
Maybe he has Mulder's gun because he's got it off him or something. They would have to.
So Mulder goes back to his car and he finds that the file that X gave him is missing, and so is Scully's autopsy report, which means once again there is no evidence of any of these crimes that can be brought to a trial. Like, Mulder, just start taking more care of your files. Like, hide them somewhere. Don't leave them in your car.
You've got a fucking glove box there, dude. Like, he put it on the floor. Like, you could see that through the window, you know?
So yeah, basically once again the bad guys win. Well, yeah, kind of, because I mean, like, Cole did manage to rid the world of the immediate criminals, like the doctors and the unit, but it's just the rich and powerful who will never see any comeuppance. So yeah. The episode ends in the smoking man's office, and here we learn that FBI agent Alex Krycek is a double agent sent to spy on Mulder. Were you shocked? Like your world collapsed around you when you found this out?
I was shooken. I was like, what the fuck?
Krycek gives his report to the smoking man. He says Mulder and Scully are still in contact, and shutting down the X-Files didn't have the effect on them that the smoking man hoped it would. And yeah, the episode pretty much ends there. He says their bond is more solid than ever. Now, do you think that they should have kept Krycek a bit more ambiguous for a bit longer?
Without knowing what's going to happen in the next few with him, I would say yes, they definitely should have, but I can't remember what's going to happen. So
ambiguous. Ambiguous to us, the viewer. Like, obviously, Mulder still doesn't know.
So that we wouldn't know that he's a double agent.
Yeah.
It could have worked like that. As I say, I don't know what's going to happen yet, because I can't remember what happens in the next few. But yeah, probably. It would create more mystery around it. Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
So maybe if they'd introduced him in the Fluke Man episode, like an episode earlier, you know, if they brought him in that episode and then left it ambiguous, and then in this episode had it sort of play out the same, you know, with the smoking man at the end.
They definitely could have milked it and drawn it out a bit more, but then it might not have looked like they intended to do that, you know. People might have thought, oh, they're just doing it because it's getting boring, or they don't like the character. Yeah. They didn't plan it all along. So I don't know.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. What did you think?
Excellent episode. Great acting all round. Tony Todd, just fucking so good. I love him. He's amazing. Rip. Do you know what the biggest thing that I love about this is? It's a Monster of the Week episode, but it's including the myth arc, so it's adding just enough of that to keep us going with what is going to come. So I think that's definitely the way forward. So the next Monster of the Week episode, if that has a bit more myth arc in it as well, just a tiny bit, just to keep us interested, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
That was my favourite part about it, and I really did like the bad guy, you know. And solid episode, really good episode. I think I preferred Blood over this, but it was a good episode.
4 in a row that have been really fucking good.
Yes, we have. I had a little skim through IMDb at the upcoming episodes, and they've got higher ratings than these. So I think we're in for a really good season. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I love this. I love Tony Todd. I love the plot. I love the revenge story. Good. Yeah, like there's enough myth arcs peppered in there. Yeah, I enjoyed this. It was really good.
Yeah.
Have you got any trivia for us?
You'll never believe it. No. I'm already joking. Of course I do. Play the jingle. First appearance of Alex Krycek, played by Nicholas Lee. Is it Lee or Leah? It's spelled Leah, but is it Lee? I think it's
Lee, I think.
Lee assumed a different role earlier in the series in Gender Bender. Do you remember him in that? I think you spoke about it, didn't you?
He was the guy in the car that the Gender Bender was trying to kill, and he ended up in hospital.
Okay. Right, okay, cool. The character, X, was originally intended to be a woman, Natalija Nogulik. Even filmed a scene in the role, but she was recast with Stephen Williams. Well, I don't know her, I don't think, so couldn't think of a better recast, to be honest. While performing an autopsy, Scully receives a phone call from Mulder, who states that his name is George Hale. George Hale was the visionary behind the Paloma Observatory in California. Mulder explained this to Scully in the past episode Little Green Men, where he also used it as an alias for his flight to Puerto Rico. He did. I was going to bring it up before, but I thought we've already spoken about it. First on-screen appearance from Mr. X. The stadium that is under construction in which Mulder meets a certain someone is General Motors Place, located in downtown Vancouver. Construction began in July 1993 and was completed on September 1995. In July 2010, its sponsorship with General Motors ended, and it has been known as Rogers Arena ever since. Sorry about that one. This is Howard Gordon's first solo writing effort for the series. Gordon was inspired to write the episode following a 2-week bout of insomnia. Wow. As with Conduit and Beyond the Sea, we have an utterance towards the end of I Want to Believe. Okay. Tony Todd plays the role of Cole, who is a Vietnam vet. This isn't the first time he has played a soldier who struggles with guilt over illegal killings during this war. He also played one in Platoon 1986. I love Platoon.
Yes, he did. Just got his filmography up here as well. I forgot he was also in The Crow, and he was
he's in The Crow, yeah.
He was in the Night of the Living Dead remake as well, which is a fucking banger of a film.
I don't think I've seen that, you know?
Yeah, it's really good.
I've seen that.
There's some horror royalty in that film, like Bill Moseley's in it as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Ted Mosley. I'm going to give you 2 last spoiler ones. The last scene contains a hidden clue about Scully's next destiny when Krycek meets the Syndicate and tells them that she is a bigger problem than they had told him. As in Blood, 1994, towards the end, Mulder points his gun at an armed man who asked him to shoot him so he can be freed from his anguishes. Yeah, decent. That's fine. That's a fine observation.
Tragic villains. We've had 2 tragic villains.
We have. So, I know what you're going to ask me next, Dan.
Go on then, what am I going to ask you? Let's see if you can read my mind.
Do I have a spooky story?
Yes, Paul. Have you got a spooky story for us?
Yes, Dan. I have, actually. Initially, I was going to talk about the conspiracy behind LSD and different drugs being used on Vietnam soldiers to cause more insanity and etc., etc. You know, a little bit Jacob's Ladder. However, it's like a drop in the ocean, a needle in a haystack. No, that's incorrect. It's basically there's so much shit on it that it's going to be hard to find something that's worth listening to. Essentially, yes, there were a lot of drugs in Vietnam. That is true, but using them to turn them into killing machines is more of a conspiracy. So this is a different story, and this is something that I immediately thought of when our story of the X-Files was about sleep and sleeplessness and all this kind of stuff. So this is the story of Ken Park. Ken Park was a citizen of Canada, and in the early morning of May the 24th in 1987, Kenneth Parks drove 20 kilometres from Pickering, Ontario, to the house of his in-laws in Scarborough. He entered their house with a key they had previously given him and used a tire iron to bludgeon his mother-in-law to death. He then turned on his father-in-law, attempting unsuccessfully to choke him to death. Covered with blood, Parks got back in his car and drove straight to a nearby police station and confessed chest, turning himself in, stating, "I think I have just killed 2 people." At the trial, Parks argued that he was automatistic and not criminally liable. So do you know what automatistic is, Dan?
No, give me a quick explanation.
Right, I'm going to skip that because it's not a real word, apparently. Right, so I will just go back to where I was. In his defense, a doctor testified as to his mental state at the time of the murder. From the doctor's evidence, it was determined that the accused was sleepwalking at the time of the incident and that he was suffering from a disorder of sleep rather than a neurological, psychiatric, or other illness. 5 neurological experts also confirmed that he was sleepwalking during the time of the incident, and the jury acquitted him. He did not go down for murder. He didn't go down for anything. He basically got away with murdering people while he slept. I'm not sure how his wife felt about that. It doesn't say. So essentially, this man, in his sleep, drove 20 kilometers and killed his mother-in-law and father-in-law, or not quite his father-in-law. And so this has been used as a legal defense in other cases as well. So we have that one that we just spoke about. And legal automatism. Legal automatism is an actual thing. According to Wikipedia, there's an actual page on it. And
I buy it though, because I sleepwalk. Past, and I find myself doing a ton of stuff. I can sleep text. I can text people full messages, and then when I wake up, I'm like, when the hell did I send that? And I can do all sorts while I have done all sorts while I've been asleep.
There are cases of people sleep driving, sleep doing all sorts. I've actually had a couple of really weird experiences with sleepwalking. So I phoned someone that we know in my sleep and told them that I'd won the lottery, and didn't remember until about 3 days later. I was really ill at the time. I had the full-on flu, like real flu. And I saw one of our other friends, and a few days later, after I'd got better and sort of went back to college, and he said, "Oh, you rang so-and-so and told you won the lottery," and it all came back to me, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I did actually." And then another time that I sleptwalked was when I first started working nights, a job that I've spoken about a few times, and I just wasn't getting enough sleep. My brain and body was not connecting with this night stuff, so I was getting about 2 hours sleep a day. So I was about to start work at midnight, and I was having a nap before it on the sofa because I didn't want to fall in too much of a deep sleep. So I woke up in my bedroom with a knife in my hand.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I looked at the knife and I just got confused. I threw it on the floor and I jumped in my bed and went to sleep. And I woke up and I shit myself. I was like, am I going to end up being a murderer? Like, what am I going to do? I was scared to go to sleep. And then a couple of days later, a dream came back to me, as clear as you can imagine. And I remembered the reason why I went and got the knife. And it was because I dreamt that I had to cut a birthday cake. And I could see it all so clearly. And I felt so much better. I was like, oh my God, I'm not evil. I'm not going to end up murdering someone. And I feel great. And weirdly enough, that's when all my sleep started happening properly for me, and I settled in. So nice story in the end.
There we go. Things ended well.
Things ended well for me. Not so much for this guy who killed 2 people in his sleep. So.
He got off with it.
Yeah, but then he still has to live with his parents-in-law being dead and his wife being devastated forever, and he's killed someone.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. We will see you next episode. It's a 2-parter next episode, so we will be releasing them on the 10th of April and on the 15th of April, hopefully. It's a Myth Arc episode. It's Dwayne, Barry, and Ascension. Do you remember these?
Not by name, but I will do when I see them, because
big episodes. These big episodes, can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that they're happening this early on. We don't have to go like 10 episodes without one. So yeah, sick.
Right, well, thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next time. Goodbye and good night.
And goodbye.